Good evening, one and all. Hello, Alicia. Hi, Julie, Kiri, Sunflower Marcia. Hello to you. Thanks for coming on. Oh, you just hit the wonderful. You guys are so awesome. Thank you. Dave, good evening to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you who are just finding my channel, I'm Kathy. I'm in West Central Minnesota, and I go live every Monday night at 6 p.m. Central Time. So I'd love to have you join us. Bonnie, hello, how are you? Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I've been running around the house. Whew, trying to get ready. You know what? 6 o'clock sneaks up on me really quickly when I'm working and doing things. So, oh, I'm so glad you guys are all here. That's so great. So, for all of you who are here every week, you know what? That is really weird. None of you guys are showing up blue for moderating. Oh, you know what? They did something different. Ha ha ha. They just have the wrench behind it. They don't highlight your name anymore. Well, that's something new. Unless you guys are seeing it blue. Are you seeing your names blue? That is badly knee pain. Oh, I'm so sorry, Bonnie. That's hard. I know my arthritis has been kicking up on me too, and my knees are just like, especially when I'm out clearing snow for a couple hours. My knees don't like that. Okay, so you're seeing them blue. That is interesting. So for me, well, let me change it to live chat. Maybe that's, no. So from my end, as host, I'm only seeing the blue wrench at the end. I'm not seeing the names in blue anymore. Oh. They make all these little adjustments and changes. So I don't know. We'll have to see if it's better next week or something. I was on Shawn and Alaska's live last night moderating, and we were all blue there, but I wasn't hosting though too either. So, hey, Michigan Daffodil, hello to you. Good for you, Kiri. Magnesium to the rescue. Yeah. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I am an hour ago, I was at 0 Fahrenheit. So let me see where I'm at now. Yes, -8 with a wind chill right here of -23. See, -23. There we go. Tonight it's supposed to get down to, looks like the coldest is -17 with a -35 wind chill. So that's tonight, and tomorrow's supposed to stay cold. I think we're under wind chill warnings through Wednesday or something. We're up and down this week again. Deb, hello. Thanks for coming in. Gorgeous sunny day there. Oh, nice. Frost and everything for 3 days. You know what? That is kind of one of the most beautiful things after a snowfall. Even if it's cold, like today, we had snow all weekend long. And but today, the front all went through. Even though it was cold, it was gloriously sunny. Just not a cloud in the sky. It's that deep, rich blue against the white snow and the bare trees. And there's just something so beautiful about that. It really is. Hey, Drops, hello. 3 Sundays, okay. Mountain Grandma, hello. Thanks for coming in. So what I was starting to say before I got distracted by you guys not being blue, but having the wrenches behind you, is that everybody who comes in, if you would do me a favor and invite somebody else that just say, hey, I go on this live every week. Why don't you come on over, check it out or something? So love to have the numbers up a little higher, which would be so awesome. And more visiting with everybody. So I'd like to get to know more people. So if you guys wouldn't mind doing that, that would be very, very helpful at some point. So yes, we have a mix of everything. Even though it snowed all weekend here, we got a total of maybe 6 or 7 inches. So it wasn't like one of those super dumping snowfalls or anything like that, but it was enough so I got to clear it a couple times. And now my roof is really stacked up, so I've got to clear my roof off too. It was going to be a task for tomorrow, but it's going to be kind of chilly tomorrow, so I don't know. I'll have to see. It's certainly a job that warms me up very quickly. So you might get a foot this weekend. Ooh. Wow. Yeah, I've got quite a bit out there. And I gotta show you something. So it's almost 10 after. I got a new tool for the homestead. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this or not, but it is a it's a Snow Joe snow shovel. It's a different shovel. It's a power one, like a snow blowing shovel. It'll only go forward, and the neat thing is that it's charging right now, but I've got a battery here, so I have a cordless power snow shovel. And I tell you what, I haven't had to, yeah, I know, another tool for my homestead. But you know what? I got water all over me. As I get older, and I still have all of this work that has to be done around here, I've had to resort to using more tools instead of just my back and my muscles. And I think that, I'm okay with that. And so this is one that helps me clear out, like in front, especially in front of my mailboxes. It's good. It's really good for decks and things. So if you guys have decks and you have a hard time shoveling them off and stuff like that, it's for little places, but more money than I wanted to spend, but it's going to be worth it in the long run. So yeah, it took me like a full hour to clear out in front of my mailboxes today. So Minnesota Mama Bear, hello. Yes, it was a beaut today. It certainly was. Dave, we had a gas version of that on your kid. Yes, and it's a big honking battery too. So the whole thing weighs probably about 13 pounds, the whole thing with the battery. So, and you still have to kind of lift it to move it and everything, but it's kind of like the snowblower version of a weed whip or weed whacker. You guys are weed eater, all these names for it. So yeah, you can't buy that in Texas. So Donna, hello. Mine is like a weed whacker motor. There you go. You're right, Drops. Absolutely. Yeah, some sleet. You had a power shovel? Okay, cool. Yeah, this is supposed to throw it about 20 feet. I've been seeing maybe 12 to 15 feet, but hey, that's still good to me. It's still it's getting up over the snowbanks, and it's a 24-volt battery that goes on there, so it's a pretty powerful battery. And it's supposed to give me 30 to 40 minutes, so it lasted the whole time I was out there, so it was great. Look at your weed whip. Oh, you think that's funny? That's what we call it here, weed whips. Oh, there you go. Kids and construction companies are looking for shoveling jobs here. Wow, that is great. Julie, hello. You had a Honda power shovel at work. Okay. I did not know other companies made power shovels like this. So these are, seeing the advertisements for these. So I was just thinking that was a good help. Shawn, hello. How are you? Katie, hello. Um, oh, you guys, so good to have you all here. Yeah, I was on Shawn's live last night, and um, Shawn, when I was looking at the weather, he's on at 5 o'clock Eastern, I believe, right? Sunday nights. You were having some pretty high winds coming right into your coast there. So I bet that's what was disrupting you last night and giving you some problems there. 7 Eastern. Okay. um, yeah, Kiri, I imagine you wouldn't, and I don't think in California they would have these either, unless they would be more up in the mountains. But anyway, so that is my latest homesteading tool. All right. The wind went crazy. Yeah. We've got high winds again right now, but it's been interfering with TV reception and even Zoom and everything. So it's been crazy. Always ask us about stuff. I bet if you have advice, there you go. Drops. I usually use the push broom used to clean out the back and pick up with. Yep, that's true. Yeah, I usually use when I have a good bit. I've got a brush with ice scraper on it for my car, but if there's a good bit of snow, I'll just get a broom out, and it cleans the top of the car so much easier. I can reach it. Dave, you have wind besides the occasional hurricane or bad thunderstorms. Really a strong wind. Nice. Oh, that's really good because you have so many trees there too. Well, if you had a major windstorm come through, that could be kind of dicey, So you got 50-mile-an-hour gusts 2 Saturdays ago. I thought it was bad. Oh yeah, 40 and 50-mile-an-hour gusts are nothing for us here. Really, they just pop in. So, hey Patty, hello. How are you tonight? Okay. I put a number of links down below, and one is a Wikipedia definition, and it's really a pretty good one, of homesteading. Like, what actually is homesteading? And it says homesteading is a term for a lifestyle of self-sufficiency. Okay, that doesn't mean that you have to have a 40-acre farm or anything. You can be in an apartment and still have a lifestyle of self-sufficiency. And it can be just one item. It could be a whole bunch of things. It could be just something as simple as growing your own herbs, under a little grow light of some sort. And that's, if it's something that you purchase a lot and you wouldn't be able to get, that's you've got that heart and that desire for that self-sufficiency. Yes, it is a huge range. It says it is characterized by subsistence agriculture, which means like growing your own food, preserving your food at home, and it may also involve the small-scale production of textiles, clothing, crafts, and whatever for household use or sale. So I don't know if you follow Gridlessness. The girls, they do leather work. They do. One makes wooden spoons, and they've developed their craft for home use, but they've made a business of it and selling it and everything. So there's a whole wide range of things, and if it's even just raising rabbits to sell or something, or to to be able to have some money for it, or rabbits for fertilizer, or rabbits for food, or whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is. But I like how they include textiles and clothing. So if you are a seamstress, Bonnie, I know that you do a lot of sewing. That's a homesteading characteristic, So I think it's just great. Future firewood, yes. If you have a homestead exemption for your property, that makes you a homesteader. Definitely. And I've been here 26 years and I've had a homestead exemption the whole time. I had no idea I was a homesteader until about 3, 4 years ago when I was watching homesteading channels. And I was like, I'm a homesteader. I didn't know it because I garden and I live on a homestead. So I was like, that one, kind of woke me up there a little bit. I just did my thing. I didn't. If you buy a bushel of fruit or veggie and can it, and grow some herbs, yes, just any little thing you can do. It doesn't have to be this whole huge, massive thing. So they go on to say it's pursued in different ways around the world and in different historical eras. Homesteading is generally differentiated from rural villages. So it's not like a rural village or a commune or something like that. But it's either physically or socially kind of removing yourself from that necessarily. That was the traditional thing. So that was historical, that when people were settling in the United States, they'd come from the east, they'd come out west here, find a piece of land, that would be their homestead, they'd settle on it, build a log cabin or whatever, and then farm and do that kind of thing. And so that was kind of the traditional homesteading thing. So all right, thanks, Julie. Yes, so we have different terms for it at this point. The use of the term in the United States dates back to the Homestead Act of 1862 and prior to that. So in sub-Saharan Africa, particularly in nations formerly controlled by the British Empire, a homestead is the household compound for a single extended family. So if you have you and your husband, maybe your in-laws, grandparents, cousins, whatever, it's your extended family and it's one family unit, they consider that a homestead. In the UK, the terms smallholder and croft are roughly synonyms of homesteader. So if you hear those in any of the things that you watch, they say smallholder or croft, which is CROFT. Those are pretty much the same thing. Now, modern homesteaders often use renewable energy options, including solar and wind power. Many also choose to plant and grow heirloom vegetables and to raise heritage livestock. Homesteading, this is key, and this is what Wikipedia says. Homesteading is not defined by where someone lives, such as the city or the country, but by the lifestyle choices they make. There you go. Interesting. My name doesn't even show up yellow. It shows up gray. This is weird. Okay. I wonder if I get something different. You canned on your own over 40 years ago. Yep. So there you go. I put the definition up there. Homesteading is not defined by where someone lives, such as the city or the country, but by the choices they make. Okay. Ricky, hello. How are you? So I put that link below if you guys want to read it or have it to share or something. I also have a link below for, this really throws me off because I'm a color coordinated person and I need to see these colors to see what's flying through my chat. And this is just really disconcerting. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Homesteading Family, I put the link below too. They did a pantry chat last week that was excellent. And it was all on homesteading and like myths and exposing certain lies about homesteading and different things like that. But their key thing was to not get ahead of yourself from what you're prepared to do. It's like to prevent burnout, don't bite off more than you can chew, really. And so, oh, drops, that's a possibility. I don't know, I've got color everywhere else. I will have to check that out. I do have a new computer. I just haven't set it up yet. So, what theme am I using on my browser? I'm in Chrome, but I don't have. Oh, let me see. I don't have access to that feature. I'm just using the live webcam feature thingy. I don't have any other options that I see here. So, but anyway, I'll just deal with it right now. So I'll see if that changes when I'm on other people's lives here. So anyway, I want to kind of talk about the steps. Hey Kiss, how are you doing? Good morning to you. So I've been asked a number of times, like, what does Prepsteader mean? My channel name, Northstar Prepsteader, and Northstar has to do with Minnesota. That's a title and a nickname that we have for our state and things in it. So that is an indicator for me of Minnesota. A Prepsteader is somebody who homesteads. So I grow, I preserve my own stuff. I have, I can grow vegetables, fruit, different things like that. So that's part of the homesteading. And then the prep part is that I also have the, I don't want to say mentality, but the lifestyle of making sure that I am prepared for things that can come up to the very best of my ability, in the way of, having enough toilet paper that can last me a few months, having food stacked up, having these things. And part of it has been out of a need because I live half an hour from any grocery store. So when I make certain trips, I like to make sure that I get enough that will last me a while before I have to make the trip again. So that's how I got my name. Preparing for emergencies. Exactly, Dave. Yep. So that is where I got my name from it. So you've had 2-week power outages winter. Yes. Remember you were telling me that last week, and that's, that could be really scary. Really. 30 pounds of heirloom seeds. Oh, it drops. Oh my goodness. 30 pounds of seeds. I don't even know what I'd do with that many seeds. But yes, you're well prepared, I would say, for seeds. Okay. So if you are a person who is not part of this lifestyle at all, and you're wondering, well, it's like, how do I get going with this? And it kind of goes along a little bit with what Homesteading Family was saying, but I just want you to be encouraged to take it step at a time. Don't jump. There have been a few people, even on YouTube channels, that have lived in the city, sell everything, and get into their trailer and go and buy a raw piece of property and try to build it up from scratch, and some have been successful with it, but more often than not, there've been a lot that have just it's been overwhelming, to say, okay, we're going to build a home out there off the land, we're going to have all our animals, we're going to get all this stuff. But the thing is, you need to live and exist in the meantime, right? And so, hey, Matt and Sarah, hello. Find a shelf to store some extra food and water, buy a few extra cans. Yes, just even if it's like, if you empty out a corner of a closet, and just stack some things in there, or put it under your bed, or find a place in the basement, you know, just something that you can do. It definitely helps. Um, 300 pumpkin seeds. Yes. So I'd say these are the keys for starting out if you've never done it. And if you think that you're not a homesteader, maybe these steps will show you that, wow, I am doing some things. I really am a homesteader. I just, we see like off grid, wild and wonderful, and it's like they're just doing everything. Or, a lot of these channels that are big and they're energetic and doing all this stuff, and you're like, I'm 60 years old. I can't do all this stuff. So I could never be a homesteader. Well, those are some lies that you can buy into very easily. So, Josh, okay. Thanks, kids. I will stop them before I get into all of this and make that kind of that announcement. Josh at In YaYard Homestead, and a lot of you know him. He's been on our lives. He's got a channel too. He has been renting a farm over the last 2 years, I think it is. He's in Australia, and he had this. It was a great setup for him. Real nice place to live. Had established his gardens, his greenhouse, and had animals, and he was doing really well. Well, the owner has sold the farm, and he has to be out at the end of the month. So he's got like 2 weeks, or not even that, a week now before he's got to be out. So he has been, and it's the middle of summer there. Things aren't ready quite for harvest. And so everything that he planted, he's had to rip up. So he can't even like get the benefits of it and harvest all his food that he put in there. So he's going to have to tear down his greenhouse, tear up his gardens, take down all of the infrastructure that he put in there to be able to live, as homesteading. And so he does not have a place to live, and he is just going to go to some kind of campground or something and live in a tent for a while. And so he's going to be homeless. And he's just, it's really breaking him up. He has tried so hard over the years to try to do so much. And so I did he's got a GoFundMe and a PayPal link, and I added those down there. So, Michigan Daffodil, I don't know, and I don't know the laws in Australia. And maybe he had been given 30 days notice and was just trying to figure things out. I don't know. But anyway, hey, Teresa, hello. Christy, hi. It's in the show notes, Michigan Daffodil. It's INYA, INYA Yard, YARD, In YaYard Homestead. So I guess I didn't link his actual channel. I just put his other things there. Let me pull up his link here. There you go. Yeah, Matt, I don't know how close he is going to be to the coast, or even to any water, because he did say that water, getting enough water is going to be an issue. So he might be in more of a desert Sahara area. I don't know. I'm not sure. So he was going to try to continue to give us updates as he can. Where he's going to be he won't have access to internet there, but he would try to get into town once in a while and do that. But anyway, it's it's kind of a blow for him. So if you guys could do that, that would be awesome. To even if you can't. Oh, okay, Julia. Which link are you talking about? His PayPal link or GoFundMe link? me see. The GoFundMe. Okay. Well, if you could go to his channel, then he would have that on there. So, his GoFundMe is to help buy a refrigerator for his car, so he could have a little fridge in there to be able to store some food. And then there was something else. So that's, just to be able to have some food. Yes, prayers. I know a couple years ago, his parents were alive, but I'm not sure if they still are at this point, Alicia. So that I don't know. It doesn't seem that he has any. So, sorry, I thought I had all of that set up. So anyway, okay. So we got Josh taken care of. I think that was the only other one. So thank you for asking. And it wasn't copy and pasting, right? You click on it, good. Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, so if you click on that, Julie, then if you can paste, once you go to it with the link, if you could paste that, that would be great. Okay, so our keys for starting homesteading, if you haven't. The first thing to do is, like, if you have that desire to approach a self-sustaining lifestyle for whatever area of your life you want to do it. First of all, study it. If it's like just growing food, okay, focus on just growing food. Don't try to encompass like the whole farm type of thing. Start with growing food, but study it. If you don't know how to do it and you're afraid to approach it, apprentice with somebody, which means like find a friend, family member, or whatever, somebody close by who's got a garden, and just approach them and say, hey, can I help you when you're out in your garden? I would love to learn about what you're doing. I would love to know how it is you're growing things, the methods that you're using, how to grow vegetables, the different things that are there, the aspect of it. So exactly, Dave, start with your favorite veggies first. If you love tomatoes, just grow tomatoes. But yes, I would probably, thank you, Julie, appreciate that. But just find someone else that can help you out with it. And if this is, because you might get into it and realize, you know what, I don't like this kind of thing at all. I don't want to do this. And so instead of setting up something at your home, digging up your whole yard and putting all the money into the structures and doing all this kind of stuff, and then you get into gardening and realize, I don't like this at all, this is not for me, then you've invested all this time and effort and everything, and it's just going to go to waste. So my suggestion, again, is to work with somebody to say, okay, this is what I want to do. The same with maybe having chickens or raising rabbits. It might be a great idea, and you're going, oh, I would love to have chickens and be able to do this. And, here in Minnesota, I have to think about the winter when it's 35 below wind chill. And it's like, what kind of structure, what kind of things can I have set up for that? Is it feasible for me to do that? So if I could find somebody who has chickens in their backyard and go and check out their setup, ask them questions, find out, it's like, what does this, what kind of effort does this take for you? How much work is involved? What's your cost? All this kind of stuff. Study, research, and figure this all out. Let's go chickens. Yes, Dave, I know you're a chicken nerd. Your ladies have you and Shawn have given your ladies like the most glorious mansions that there are out there. So Julie, you do a pretty good job too. Exactly, Marcia. You can grow in containers if you don't like digging it. So find out what you want to do, and then develop a plan. that goes in steps. So it's like, let's just take the garden. Okay, you've got your whole backyard that's all grass, and it's like, I want to put a garden back out there. It's like, okay, maybe instead of putting in a 2,000 square foot garden right away, you started out small and you've added to it every year, and you continue to grow and you continue to make those steps. So, yes, it's like maybe start out with containers while you're developing things. Maybe just put in 100 square feet the first year, one raised bed, or one row that's just going to be 10 tomato plants, or something like that. Just start small so you're not overwhelmed, and then you can get the feel of it. And then every year you can add a little bit more. Oh, see, Kiri, there you go. There you go. You got meat rabbits, and you discovered you hate rabbit meat. Exactly. So if you decide, it's like, okay, I want to grow rabbits for meat, eat it first. Go to some place where they've got rabbit and taste it. And if it's like curious, like if you just can't take it, then that's not the thing for you to be growing for meat, that type of thing. You can live vicariously through them. There you go. You know what, Marcia, I bet you're able to go out to the farm too. And are you able to help and take some produce or anything? Dave, that's good to know, because I've heard from so many people that they don't, there's no difference between rabbit and chicken. They can't taste the difference. And I have not eaten rabbit myself. So, all right, Marcia, well, that's great. So then you can, see if you can get some produce and learn to can. It's like, and that's another step in all of this. It's like, if you want a garden, you want to preserve your food, so you put in 500 square feet of garden, and all of a sudden you have all this food coming in. It's like, how do I do this? So practice again in that studying, research, apprentice stage. Practice, get a water bath canner, something, a case of jars, and everybody starts with jelly. Jelly's the easiest thing. So to make jellies, or if you want to go and buy, a few bags of tomatoes or something at a farmer's market. And then it's like, I'm going to try my hand at some tomato sauce, or just canning whole tomatoes or something like that. Start small, you're practicing. And to soak the rabbit in almond milk. Oh, interesting. Yes, quail is another one, another good one. So anyway, let's develop your plan and take it in steps. So let's say you want to do a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan or something like that. Say, okay, this year I'm going to put in this much. If that goes well, the following year we want to add another 100 square feet. After that, we'll add this. And so you can kind of have a plan of where things are going, so it's not all like piecemeal and helter-skelter, but it eventually works together, that type of thing. Then gather your resources. Sorry, the air is dry. I was clearing snow for 2 hours this morning. Got my exercise in. So gather your resources. After you get your plan done, gather your resources, which means like, if it's going to take, $500 to get your garden established, and that's bringing in compost, digging it up, fencing, beds, or whatever you have. Let's say it takes $500. I will tell you it takes more than that. But you can also do it really, free or something. Or if you're going to buy a lot of pots and bags of soil and the seeds and the different things like that, if you're going to have containers around, whatever your setup is, or if you're going to do a rabbit hutch, find out what the cost is for that and start setting the money aside for that. Books that, gather books so that you can have those on hand, like, gardening books or, husbandry books, which is taking care of animals, all that kind of stuff. Hi, Patty. How are you? Just check your internet lines before chilling. Oh, yes. Yes, definitely. Oh my gosh, those lines weren't down very deep then, were they? Well, unless it was a really, really deep plow and everything. You'd like a rabbit for fertilizer factory. There you go. So that would be determining what it is you want to have. So have this plan. um, gathering your resources. You have equipment, information on seed varieties or animal breeds. Do your research, do your study. I think of Jess at Roots and Refuge, the way she got into chickens. She was at the store and she bought she was like, oh, the chicks are so cute. I want chickens. And she bought like a dozen of them and brought them home. Had no place to keep them. None at all. They didn't have anything. So I think they were in a bin in their garage for quite a while. But, and Shawn, I have to kind of, oh, you've done everything wrong. I know, I have to kind of chuckle at you. I mean, you're the first one to admit it, but like last night, even you were saying, you had your chickens, you bought them before you had a coop set up. And so, understand what you need to have to be able to have that in there. So, and also another thing that's huge is for backup help. For when you need to be gone, even just overnight, know that you have somebody that can feed your animals for you. That kind of thing, or check on them, gather eggs, whatever it is. The next step is to get your ducks in a row. There you go. Math. I love it. Drops, yeah. So, and then to develop and grow where you are before looking to buy any property. Okay, develop and grow where you are. If you're in an apartment, just find, in front of a window or a sliding glass door, set up pots that have herbs, and you can put a tomato plant in there. You can put a green stalk in the window and keep turning it. If you have a little balcony or a little porch area or something, utilize it. You can grow a lot of food there. And so get used to that. And so if you have plans to then buy a house with a yard or get a 1 acre place or something like that, that's something that you would be down the road in your plans, but develop your skills now, right? Develop the skills. So I have to think of another YouTube channel in our family. It was making lemonade from lemons. Shayla hasn't been on for a while, but what they did, they rented an apartment and they were able to have some area in the yard area, I think. Well, maybe it was an apartment. It might have been like a duplex or something, but they set up huge grow bags and they just filled these grow bags and they did all their gardening from those. I mean, they were huge. They were like 3 or 4 feet in diameter. And so they learned how to grow in there, and Shayla's taught her sons. And so they filled them with soil and they grew tomatoes and flowers and all kinds of things and beans and then canned from that. So she found a way to do that. So again, grow where you are or develop where you are, learn your skills where you're at before you take on something bigger, because then you will be ready for that next step. And before you buy a place, make sure you can have the animals and garden you want on it. Very good point. Yes. Curie, that's awesome. That is so great. Dave, you had a 20 by 20 garden at a rented duplex before you. Very good. Yep. So, a lot of places where you rent, they, most landlords will be pretty pretty willing to let you put in a little garden of some sort. I think unless they're really particular about their landscaping and their lawn, but most will say, yeah, you can put something temporary out there or something like that. So yes, green stalks are great. They can really help a lot. Here is, again, making, if you want to check out her videos, that's making lemonade from lemons. So there, she's got some great ideas there. Okay, so you're at this point now where you've done all this research, you've developed your skills, you kind of have a plan, you kind of know what you want. Let's say, you've got the space, you've got everything together, and you've got the money, you want chickens, you want to build them, you want to put a coop in the backyard. Okay, so now is the time to build your infrastructure. So whether it's your garden, or a coop, a shed, a barn, fences, whatever it is, start putting that in place. And I would do one thing at a time. Start with the garden, and kind of get that in place if that's what you want to do. But get those together, get them built, figure out a time of year that you want to put that in. Sometimes for a garden, preparing the soil in the fall is a really, really good thing, because then it has a chance to kind of rest and compost throughout the winter. And then in spring, you can till it up again or do whatever you need to with it. And then it's more ready for you to be able to grow from. Thank you, Matt. Let me see. So anyway, get your infrastructure in first, and then purchase your seeds or your animals. So once your coop is done, then you can buy your chicks, because what is it? They're in 2 weeks, I believe. Isn't it about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks? They go from little itty chicks to a good sized bird, where they have to be out of the house, and they have to have a place. They can't be in a brooder anymore, or the bin, or whatever you have in there. So they have to be out. And so if you it's going to take you longer than a couple weeks to build that coop, which it most likely will, then unless you have a kit that comes and somebody can put it up in a day or something, that's however you're going to do it. But then the very last thing, get your seeds and your animals so that you've got the structure in place and you've got that all done. Yeah, chicks grow fast. So flying by the seat of your pants and just like, oh, let's go here, let's put this up, and then just kind of going all over the place, that sets you up for failure. And homesteading is such a wonderful, wonderful lifestyle, so that you don't want to get so discouraged right away, and you don't want to set yourself up for failure. So don't rush the process either, because especially, and that's hard to not want to do in our times that we're in, when we see food flying off the shelf and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh man, I need to have a huge vegetable garden, and I need to grow our meat, and I need to do this, and I have to have a cow so we can have dairy. But it's like, okay, if I put a cow in the backyard here and just tethered it to my clothesline or something like that, that would not be a good thing. That is not a proper infrastructure for a cow. They need a certain number of acres of fresh green grass, and they need, shelter, and they need oats, and they need all this kind of stuff. So failures or serious grief, at least. Yes, Shawn. Oh, when they get their feathers in, they can go outside about 10 days before they start flying out of the brooder. Ooh, okay, there you go. I like that tree said, don't bite off more than you can chew, but do what you can. Exactly. But so just don't rush the process. Every little thing that you can do to become more self-sufficient is going to be huge. Whether it's even just being able to you know build your own raised bed. I mean, and then fill it with some dirt. I mean, that's a huge step right there. You know, and for those of you who rent on a place, you can do a raised bed that's on a stand. So it doesn't have to be even sitting on the ground. It could be, a standing raised bed, and you can still grow things in there and be able to move it around or something, as well as containers. So you grew about 0.2 acre garden this year. Drop says huge. That's so great. Oh my goodness, a fifth of an acre. That's probably the size of my whole yard. That's a lot. That's good. Very good. Yes, and Kiri, you put up a good point too, is that if you want chickens that are going to lay eggs, you have to realize that they need a number of months before they can actually start laying. So so don't think that, okay, you buy chicken and in 8 weeks you can start getting eggs. It doesn't work that way. They have to grow up and develop and everything. So so anyway, excuse me. I do a raised bed. And there's so many different kinds you could do, Alicia, and I think it would be good for you. And it's just, but just start somewhere. Start with studying and learning, developing your skills, and then putting all that into action. Tell your daughters to at least grow a small salad garden. There you go. Absolutely great idea, Teresa. Oh, you guys are funny. So again, if you plan, my garden tip for tonight, if you plan to expand your growing space, again, if you're doing it in steps, if you've had 100 square feet and you want to double that to 200 square feet this year, if you plan to expand that, plan that out now and start getting the materials that you need for when you're ready to build in the spring, whether it's even just tilling it up and adding fencing or whatever you have going on there. But start planning that out now. So just like if you've drawn a plan out for your current garden area where things are going to be, if you're going to expand, plan that out too. They don't really listen. Believe me, I hear you, Teresa. Oh no, they don't want to listen to mom and dad, right? Okay, Julie, so that's a really good thing to know and to start getting ready for and plan. So that you're going to have new chicks there. 4 to 6 months for any real egg production, okay? Took way longer than 4 months. Turn your waiting room into class. Yes, Roots and Refuge, absolutely. That's what Jess says. Turn your waiting room into a classroom. Learn and study where you are at this point, and because each thing that you take on and every little bit that you grow, if you're increasing your garden size, all that kind of thing, it is going to be more work. And if you don't have the skills down and a streamlined workload and different things, you're going to easily get overwhelmed and you will burn out. And we don't want that for anybody. So I know, where did the hour go? Exactly. And then plan on how you want to preserve it. Know you can and want to eat it. Exactly. So, and that would be, okay, so my prep tip is inventory your canning jar supply now, because right now the demand is really low on the jars, and almost every store has a lot of jars available. So and some are even carrying lids too, which we haven't been able to find. So, if you need more cases, start picking them up now, because if you wait until the summer when the canning season is in full swing, the shelves are going to be empty, and it'll be hard. Also, do the same thing if you need to replace a canner, any of your canning tools, the gripper thing, whatever it is, the tongs that you use, any gaskets that you need for your canners, anything like that. So yeah, pick all that up at this point too. Maybe the empty store shelves will convince them to grow a few things. Yes, we want to do meat rabbits. You're thinking rabbits? Yeah, I've got other friends who've turned to rabbits too for food. So, oh, good point, Tinker's wife. Keep records and notes of what worked and what didn't. It helps for gardens and livestock and more. Absolutely. Keep records, keep journals at this point. 6 to 7 eggs out of 9 hens. Very good. Yep, Donna, I've been able to see them everywhere I go to. Absolutely. Yeah, it's especially if you still have a lot of jars left over from last year or the year before that are filled that you're not going to eat through, and then you're going, okay, for what I want to grow this year, I'm going to need about 300 empty jars, and it's like I only have 85, something. It's like, we might eat through another 30 jars, but that's not going to be enough for everything that I need. So, yeah. So, just kind of figure out that kind of thing in that way. So, Fleet Farm has lids. Nice. Very good. I'm actually good on lids, so I'm sad. But that's good to know. Thank you, Matt. Fleet Farm is a good place to get canner. Yes, Fleet Farm is good. And they don't jack up the price either. They're pretty reasonable. Jar lifter tongs, there you go. It's like the lifter thingy. Yep. Mountain Grandma, it might be a Minnesota company. I'm not sure if they have them anywhere else, but anyway. So guys, that's everything I have for you tonight. So, homesteading, again, is a lifestyle of being self-sustainable, self-reliant, and there's so many different ways you can do that. Like I said, from sewing your own clothes to, even working on your own vehicles and mechanics type of things to, however you can do to be able to sustain life. The mechanics doesn't really, that helps for our tools. It doesn't keep your life going really, but it's pretty much the same as like sewing and stuff. So anyway, guys, dried beans, easy to store. Yep. Fleet Farm here in the north is kind of like Tractor Supply in the south. We got a Tractor Supply in Alexandria. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. I have not been in there yet though, because I don't need anything at this point. And if I don't, I'll go in there and I'll come out and buy, $200 worth of stuff that I didn't need. So I have to, but I know I'm afraid to go in there actually. Yes, Donna, they did. It's near Walmart. It's where Office Max used to be. Office Depot, Office Max used to be. So anyway, you guys, this hour went so fast. Thank you so much for coming. It's been a pleasure, and I hope that you'll be able to figure out some things and plan some things for your life to be able to take the stress off of you of not knowing where something might be coming from, and it's like I don't know where our food's going to come from this year. Well, if you have a plan in place to be able to grow it, I tell you what, it takes all the worry and the stress off of you. It really does. So anyway, you guys, Donna, that would be awesome. Family, farm, and home. Okay, so you guys take care. God bless. Always have hope. And we will see you next week. Have an awesome week, everybody. Love you all. Good night.